This is one of the videos of my YouTube channel, TVG-India-Heritage, and this is a series on ancient towns of India. Here I'm going to talk about Thrissur, currently called Thrissur, a town built around an ancient Shiva temple. I'm Dr. TV Geeta. Please do subscribe to my channel to know more interesting facts about India. Now let's first talk about Thrissur and Vadakannathan temple. So Tirushivaperu, the name itself is from this Vadakannathan temple. It's also called as Vrishabhadripuram, or the town of the sacred bull. Thrissur is built outward from the sacred temple hill where you have the Vadakannathan temple, or the Lord of the North. And this temple was built later, but it was as old as 1400 to 1500 years old. And there is a fascinating legend that Parshurama actually consecrated the temple. That is one. Another says that sages, they took penance, they did penance in the forest, and they felt the presence of Shiva. And this taken garden forest is about 65 acres before it was cleared later. And this Vadakannathan, even today, the Shivalingam is hidden under a mountain of ghee that is collected over the centuries. It is said that even with lighting of lamps, the ghee never melts and it looks like a mountain. So it's also called the Dakshina Kailasam, or the Kailasam of the south. Then we'll come to Peruvanam Mahadeva temple. The same, it was also 1400 to 1500 years old. It is historically told as the spiritual center of the Peruvanam Gramam. This Gramam is supposed to have been built for Brahmin settlements by Parshurama. And it is also 1400 to 1500 years old. And the manuscripts say this through through describing an ancient Peruvanam pooram. Mythology of Peruvanam also talks about Maharishi Puru, and so it's supposed to have got its name as Puruvanam or Peruvanam. The Shiva here is called Erette Appan, that is, there are two Shivalingas on the pedestal, and people consider it in three ways. It is unique to Kerala, being like this. So it is considered as three aspects. One is either as Shiva and Parvati, or Shiva and Parvati as a union, Ardhanarishwara, or it's also Shankara Narayana, Shiva and Vishnu. Then we'll talk about Paramekava Bhagavati temple. While Vadakannathan temple is considered the spiritual center, Paramekava temple is called the guardian deity. This temple is about 1000 years old. Now, the main legend says that an old man from Kurupatha family used to go and pray in Tirumangana Kunna Bhagavati temple. And then he told Bhagavati there that he's getting too old to travel, and he came. On the way, it is said that the Bhagavati, spiritual presence of Bhagavati, or the Chaitanya, hidden his Olakoda, or the umbrella made of coconut leaves. And when he came near the shoot, he placed the umbrella there, and it refused to be taken off. So Parmekava Bhagavati was built there. There is another shared mythology theme as of Bhagavatis around the region, called as the slayer of the Asura Dharika. In Paramekava Bhagavati temple, she is in the youthful form before the destruction. In Kodungalur, she is in the fierce and powerful form, maybe during the destruction. And at Tirumangam Kunna, she is considered as the royal deity of Valluvan Nada and in a victorious form. Then we'll talk about Chembukava Bhagavati temple. This is also about 1000 years ago it was supposed to have built. The presiding deity is Kartyayini Bhagavati, and the temple tradition says that she is a Kanya Bhava, that is virgin maiden form. There is another legacy that the goddess is sensitive to harsh sunlight, so she's taking procession in the early morning. And she's supposed to also have a connection with Ayandol Bhagavati, who's considered as the elder sister. Ayandol Bhagavati is supposed to be Yoga Maya, who escaped from Kamsa after Krishna's birth. Then comes the Tiruvambadi Krishna temple. This temple is dedicated to Krishna and it's considered to be about 500 years old. The history says that there was an idol in Edakkalattur, but because of some social and unrest, the idol was brought and given to a Brahmin couple of Kandinapalli Mana. Now, they uh, had a Krishna, the mythology of the Krishna idol in Tiruvambadi is that the idol at Edakkalattur was actually Parthasarathi, Arjuna's charioteer. But because of this childless couple's devotion, Krishna is supposed to reveal to them as Unni Krishna with a flute and asking for butter. It is also a Bhagavati mythology that this Kanjanapalli Nambudiri was a devotee of Kodungalur Bhagavati, and when he was coming back from there, she's supposed to have come along with him, and so there is a shrine for Bhagavati in Tiruvambadi Krishna temple. Now we'll talk a little bit about the old churches of Thrissur. The oldest church is in Ollur, St. Anthony's Foreign Church, built in 1780. Then the Martin Mariam Chaldean Syrian Cathedral, which was actually built in 1814. It is oldest in Thrissur city inside the central town. And Our Lady of Dolores Basilica, it's a parish established in 1814, but the present basilica, which is called Puttanpalli, was built much later. So these are some of the oldest churches of Thrissur. Now let's talk about Thrissur before Sakthan period. Part of this Thrissur was part of the Cheran kingdom and Kulashekara dynasty. It is 800 to 1200 years old. So at that period of time, temple authorities and local feudal chiefs controlled the complete area. Then it came under the royal family of Cochin, but the area was also contested between Zamorin of Calicut and the royal rulers of Cochin. About 300 years ago, this region was also invaded by Tipu Sultan and Hyder Ali. Now comes the Sakthan Thampuran. He ruled from 1790. He was there from 1790 to 1805. Ramavarma Kunyipilla Thampuran. He is called as Sakthan Thampuran. He is called the architect of modern Thrissur. One of his greatest achievements was around the sacred temple of Vadakannathan. He cleared much of the forest around the temple and created the Thekkankadu Maidanam. He developed the famous Thrissur Road or Ring Road, now called as Swaraj Road, and he redesigned Thrissur town with roads radiating from this round. And he also had an old fort area at Thrissur with fort walls and gates around the central settlement. Now, he also was responsible for making Thrissur a commercial center. He encouraged Syrian Christian traders, Brahmins, and other communities, merchants, to come and settle in Thrissur. So, were established banking networks, gold trade, educational institution, printing and publishing activities. He also gave land to the Syrian Christian merchant families who came here for building a church inside the fort area itself, which we discussed before about the old churches. And he built the Sakthan Thampuran Palace in a Kerala Dutch architecture where he lived till his death. After that, in current times, it has become a museum where you can find the relics of the Cochin kingdom. Sakthan Thampuran is known as the brainchild of Thrissur and it is considered his most important cultural legacy. Now, why did he start it? Some of the temples around Thrissur were denied permission to partake in the older Aratupuzha program because they were delayed due to floods. So he decided that 10 participating temples around Thrissur were combined together. He divided them into two groups, the Tiruvambadi side called the Tirumavambadi Desham and the Parmekava side called the Parmekava Desham. And these participating deities would ceremoniously assemble around Shiva at Vadakannathan temple. So the symbolic meaning is devotees often interrupt the Pooram as a healthy competition, both ritual and ceremonial. And royal assembly of deities before Shiva was considered a celebration of harmony among temples also. Sakthan in Kerala memory, he is considered as the founder of modern Thrissur. He is the creator of Thrissur Pooram. He is a ruler who strengthened administration and law enforcement. In fact, he is considered to be a person who punished corrupt people, and he went out of his way to find out what was happening in his kingdom. The king who placed Padakanadan at the center of civic and ritual life, the architect of the city's enduring sacred and cultural identity, he improved infrastructure and urban planning, and he consolidated Thrissur's role as the capital and cultural center of the Cochin kingdom.